We do a lot of public comment here, and I just want to say we did get an announcement of ACIP is having a meeting on December 3rd and 4th, which is like really, really soon. And it looks like RFK and co want to revisit the Hep vaccine, Hep B at birth. And we've done a lot of research on this, including all the data presented by the government, the good part of the government, at the last meeting. And I have kind of an unconventional opinion on this. If you look at the big picture, the way we do Hep B vaccine at birth does not make a whole lot of sense. Like when you actually go through the raw data. On the other hand, changing that also makes zero sense because doing it this way now is better than not doing anything at all. And what really makes me mad is that if we were to do something about it, RFK and co have the power to put together a system that would fix it, but they're not doing that. So it just goes to show that they don't know what they're doing and they really are just trying to push anti-vax things. Because here's the logic. About 7,000 kids a year get exposed from their mothers during birth. So when we vaccinate for Hep B, we're actually using it like a post-exposure prophylactic, like a rabies vaccine. The baby has been exposed from their mother in 7,000 births a year, roughly. And then in addition to that, 10 to 15% of cases are not tied to birth. They're tied to what they refer to as immigrant homes. So what they're doing is they're talking about homes that have a lot of people living in them. So there's more chance for blood to go where it's not supposed to be because this is a blood vector, right? So the problem isn't that this doesn't work or isn't safe. It is very safe and it does work. The problem is that it takes agency away from parents and then they end up getting less vaccines overall. So while we are protecting people from Hep B, which is good, Hep A is a much bigger concern for small children because they could be exposed at daycares and all those sorts of things. So we're doing this thing to protect kids from their own mothers, essentially, but not doing anything to protect the mothers who have Hep B. So we should be testing for Hep B or other bloodborne diseases during the pregnancy process and during delivery. Because if they make it a standardized part of Medicaid or Medicare, I always mix them up, make it a standard part of that care, then it would just become the standard of care. And then we would have actual tracking. We'd have less Hep B cases. We would have the kids who need to get vaccinated would get vaccinated. The kids who are at risk in that 10 to 15% group, we would have more protections and more education and more information that this can happen. And then we would have more vaccinations in young children overall because the vaccination would start later. However, if they were to change that process, which I think we should, starting at ACIP is bonkers. That's dingbat stuff. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like starting at ACIP, that should be the final step after you've created all this safety function to deal with Hep B in delivery rooms and have less exposure to staff and have everyone be more protected. That makes sense, but that's not what they're doing.